Would like to call to order the January 16, 2025 council meeting to order. Will you please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mary? Here. Jenna? Here. Mary? Here. Annette? Here. Bob?
Here. Next up, we have the election of officers.
I'd like to make a motion to keep the officers the same in 2025 as in 2024.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, in past years, it's always been the protocol that we kind of take turns serving as the president of the council. And I think we've done that up until now. I did ask, I made a motion in November for Annette to take over because she has been serving as our vice. And I made a suggestion that she did that, and she's said at the time that she didn't want to take on that responsibility because of a time element. But I think, in the future, let's take a look at this as the protocol that we usually do this because it gives everybody a chance to serve in a leadership role and learn more about how the town runs.
As a time frame? Is that what you said that I?
Well, what was your response?
I said as of right now.
Okay, yeah.
No, but I didn't know there was a protocol that every year
There
is
is.
changed. I mean, I am still going with the motion to keep the officers the same.
Well, the
From
other surrounding
25.
towns, they usually take turns being the president. And
Well,
So that you can
in
learn
Cedar
different
Lake, the
roles.
last town council president was town council president for 10 years. The Griffith town council president has, I believe, has been for over 8 years. So I think it's something we just have done in the past, but I don't know that it's indicative of something that we need to continue in the future.
Just to clarify, there's nothing written.
That's what I was gonna
Right,
ask. Is
there
there
isn't,
anything
there
written
isn't.
there? That has to-
I'm okay with just kind of having the council each year sort of decide rather than,
Exactly.
same protocol, because it changes year to year. Maybe somebody wants to do it or somebody.
Right,
doesn't.
then it would be brought up.
Then it wouldn't make sense. to
Right.
Change.
I agree.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Nay.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary?
nay,
Annette? Aye. Bob?
Aye. Next up, we have citizen input. Hello, sir. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Jorge de Valdez. I live at 13797 Empress Lane, Dyer, Indiana, proud resident. And I want to say good evening to all my community members, colleagues, and council. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity and small amount of time to speak on Dyer Kickers and the events that are taking place in the near future. Each and every day, our board works to live out the vision and mission of George Romer, the founder of our club, over 50 years ago. As our founding member, he set forth a precedent that I feel is unmatched, of allowing any and all people willing and to participate in the club, membership to the club, regardless of financial backings. Each and every day, our board works tirelessly, especially some of the members here in attendance, to honor George Romer's vision. With that, coming up in our spring season, we are looking to host a 50th anniversary event. We feel it's very important, so we've made it a committee. I will, if the council agrees, bring our chair of that committee to speak further on the events of that day. Laura Miller.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Miller. I live at 1009 Cambridge Court in Dyer. Good evening, everyone, fellow residents of the community, town council members, Parks Board. I represent Dyer Kickers. I am a board member. I've been on the board for a couple years now. And as Dave so eloquently stated, we are looking this year to honor our founder, George Romer, for our 50th anniversary. Since 1975, our club has been providing a way for local youth to stay active, engage socially and athletically with other similar aged players, learn sportsmanship, and develop their love of soccer within our Dyer community. Through our continued partnership with Dyer Parks and the town council, we are fortunate enough to provide this service to our youth at two of the town's local parks, Central Park and Northgate. Year after year, our organization has grown. We are a nonprofit 501c. We are pleased to report that through our two outdoor seasons of spring and fall, along with our 3 winter indoor sessions, we are providing youth soccer programs for around 1,000 children a year. And that's youth players in our local community, so Dyer and the surrounding communities. We're pretty proud of that. So for our 50th anniversary, we are kind of wanting to amp things up a little bit, rightly so. And for our spring fun day in-house tournament, we also want to hold a 50th anniversary celebration. So normally we have our in-house tournament that runs from U6 to U16 age divisions. And we have like a playoff style tournament with brackets and a championship for each age division. We also have various food and activity vendors come to the park and just to entertain anyone who attends. So we want to do all that like we normally do. And then we also want to have a few more things and bless you. So we're going to we are going to have a special 50th anniversary commemorative patches that we're going to hand out to all current players in our club. We are going to, on our in-house jerseys for the in-house tournament, on their sleeve, they'll have our 50th anniversary logo. So that'll be visible during the tournament. And we also would like for on social media to call out past members of the Dyer Kickers Soccer Club to kind of share their stories and memories of George Romer and of playing with the club and how it made an impact on them during their formative years. So once we've collected all that information, we plan on sharing those stories vocally at our celebration. And we would love if anyone would care to speak and kind of share their stories at the event. We would love to invite them to do that. Mickey Romer is here tonight as well, who is George Romer's son. And we would love to invite him and his family also to the celebration to come and speak and share your stories and memories of your father and of the inception of Dyer Kickers and how it all came about. We would love that. So you are cordially invited officially. Very good. We would also like to invite all the town council members, the Parks Board, and all residents, any media, anyone that wants to attend. We would love to have you all there. We're very excited about it. So additionally, for the event, we also plan to provide a bronze plaque as a memorial to George Romer. We'd like to reveal it during the event and present it to the town and the Romer family. As I understand it, it's going to be mounted on a boulder at Northgate Park eventually in the future to memorialize Mr. Romer and his contribution to the town of Dyer in creating the Dyer Kickers Soccer Club. It's also noteworthy that this year, Lake Central School Corporation has announced that they are bringing soccer back to the middle schools in the area, which we're very excited about. I know all the parents in the area with middle school age children are very excited. So it's kind of very noteworthy that this is our 50th year and also that is also happening. So we would like to thank the Lake Central School Corporation during our event as well for bringing soccer back to the middle schools. And then just in closing, I probably left some stuff out here, but I did print a copy of my letter. I'm not the greatest public speaker, so if you guys could please just review the letter. But being relevant and viable for 50 years, it's huge. It's a milestone for any organization. And it's honestly one we don't take lightly. We'll look to our past and wholehearted appreciation of George Romer and his family and all who have paved the way for our soccer club to grow to what it is today. We greatly value the continued hard work of all of our volunteer board members and coaches in the present, and we enthusiastically look forward to the future and the continued unwavering gracious support of our community, the Dyer Parks Board, and members of the Dyer Town Council. So cheers to another 50 years of soccer in the Dyer community. So thank you all. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight.
Do you have a date set for it?
It's going to be May 31st.
May 31st.
I probably should have
Okay, so
said
we
that.
can put it in our calendar.
Yes, mark your calendars, please, please, please come.
And please come back to another town council meeting.
We would love to.
Bring your children with you.
I don't know if you want that.
All three of my kids have practice.
Thank you again.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mickey, for coming.
Do we have any other additional citizen input? Moving on, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the minutes of December 19, 2024 town council meeting and claims totaling $2,494,188.96.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, including the minutes of the December 19th, 2024 town council meeting and claims totaling $2,494,188.96.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have a few announcements. The first one being the town offices will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. The holiday on this upcoming Monday, January 20th, 2025. And the second announcement is the Economic Development Commission meeting to be held at 5 p.m. on January 27th, 2025 here at the Dyer Town Hall.
Mr. President, if we could add a late addition to the announcement, it could also come into reports later, but Historic Preservation Commission, Mr. Foster's asked me to make the announcement that the volunteer committee of the Dyer Historical Society has scheduled their first organizational meeting for Saturday, January 25th, 10 a.m. in the Historical Society. So that'd be a great launch to that volunteer committee.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Next up, we have reports. We will start with Ward 2, Councilwoman Tim.
Thank you, President Starkey. Continued enthusiasm once again for the Calumet Avenue street lights. Everybody's enjoying those. With the snow, it even looks better. And the Christmas tree has gotten rave reviews, so we're still enjoying that. Curving around to Ward 2, we have a unique opportunity to perhaps purchase an amazing, well-kept building that's in our historic district and possibly repurpose it as a heritage center. The definition of that heritage center, just so I can clarify, is a public facility, typically a museum, monument, visitor center that is primarily dedicated to the presentation of historical and cultural information about a place and its people, and often includes to some degree the area's natural history. The Dyer Historical Preservation Commission is going over those options for this opportunity and hope to present those details to the council next month. And I'd like to end with a great big thank you to our Public Works. When snow comes, we don't have snow, and then people go crazy when there is snow. But you have done an excellent job keeping all the main thoroughfares clear, and we appreciate that, and so do the residents. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
Next up, Ward 3, Councilwoman Krzyzewicz.
I agree with Councilwoman Tim about Public Works doing a great job recently, especially with the snow, keeping up with that excellent work. The only thing I have to report is just a continuation that the Lake County Solid Waste District meeting is tonight. So that is just a continued conflict, just scheduling. So Dyer doesn't have anyone there. It's not just Dyer, there's 27 members and sometimes they have a hard time getting 16 to establish a quorum, so. It's sort of an ongoing problem or concern that they're working on. And I did some fact checking and it is Jewel, not Jules. In there,
Really,
just, yeah, just thought I'd add that.
a lot of whiteout going on.
That's all I have to report.
Are they looking to change it? No, I
No.
mean, are they looking to change the dates?
Oh, for the meeting,
The Jewel? I
the
don't
Jewel,
know.
I'm like, that was just a joke.
No,
The dates, I know you were talking
Yeah,
about it the last.
They haven't got back to me that they're trying to get the date.
Give me some.
Maybe that was a while ago.
I know, everybody looked at me strangely. No, are they looking to change the date since there is so many that aren't able to attend?
They try, but they'll change it for, they'll change it and then a new group of
A new
people won't be
group of-
able
I
to
see.
attend, so.
I think what we're hoping,
Just
oh,
to-
go ahead.
Just to add to that, and speaking with some of the surrounding communities, there is a movement that should be working through that committee to allow proxies. Currently, there's no proxies. It has to be elected official. But they are running into this with other communities, so I think there's a need for us to have a proxy that we can send there.
Thank you.
Next up, Ward 4, Councilwoman Tanis.
Was invited to tour the new train station between Munster and Dyer. Was really a great opportunity to see how things are going to work. But one thing that was important is that the new signage does include the logo for the Monon corridor. And they're going to put the sign up in a few weeks, if it's not up there now. But also, I would like to say that Munster was kind enough to put some of the amenities into the new train station. And I thank them because it's a welcome to our town. And so when they did some brickwork and they put some more landscaping in, it makes our town look really good because that's where you're coming in. I would like to look at using that logo for the Monon corridor to be used for our wayfinding signs and other opportunities as people travel along not only Sheffield, but also on Calumet Avenue. It's a beautiful logo and we would like to really use that for Dyer as well. So the Monon used to go through Dyer. We even had our own train station here. So it's an opportunity for us to really focus in on that because it is a piece of artwork as well. So hopefully we will be doing that. But thank you again for Dyer Kickers for coming in this evening. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've also invited Mia Michelson, who was the chairperson for the Indiana Arts Commission. She happened to be at the NERC meeting this morning and I invited her to come to a town council meeting in the near future so we can talk about how important art is for our town of Dyer. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Ward 5, Councilwoman Ludwig.
Nothing to report. Haven't heard anything back yet.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next report, Clerk Treasurer,
Nothing at this time.
Town Manager.
I already mentioned the Dyer Historical meeting. We are in the process of putting together that annual joint board meeting of all the boards, commissions and town council. We'll be circulating a February date. I'd say very similar to solid waste. We're gonna not find a date that suits everybody, but we're gonna have to just go with one in February and make sure it suits most people. This will be the opportunity for each department head to give about a 5-minute presentation of 2024 wrap up and goals for 2025. And then the board presidents will each have an opportunity to wrap up speech. And with that, all boards are welcome, not just the presidents, but we don't have time for everybody to have a spot on there. So we will have the presidents be able to speak with the department heads. I was able to speak at the Chamber of Commerce. I was very honored and we talked a lot about what's going on in Dyer. And we have a very busy little community. I think I was slated for 45 minutes and ended up at about an hour 20. But it was great because there was a lot of questions. That means there's a lot of enthusiasm. And believe it or not, a lot of compliments came on the Christmas decorations from surrounding towns as well. So we did something right this year with that. I will defer the rest of my time to Julie from our SEAC committee.
Thank you.
Just as a reminder, I'm Julie McElmurray. Happy New Year. I'm the citizen you asked to represent Dyer on the Shared Ethics Advisory Commission. So just a couple items. I've provided you with a copy of the annual report. It's pretty concise, easy to read. We had a very busy, successful year in 2024, meeting all of our goals, including our brand and website refresh. So we're pretty excited about that. Also included in the report at the end, you'll see our goals for 2025. And we will be commemorating our 20th anniversary. So I thought that was a big deal until y'all came here. Well, it is kind of a big deal. So we're looking for ways to commemorate our 20th anniversary. Most of that will probably happen in our summit in the fall. So we're looking for a really great speaker and some good stuff going on there. We voted Courtney Smith to continue as our president and Julie Wendorf to continue as our vice president. So we continue to be a women-led organization, which I am very proud of. We are tentatively planning a board and commissioner member training event. So this would be training available for all of our board and commission members, tentatively for the evening of Thursday, May 29th. There will be dinner served and we'll have a really good program. So once those details are finalized, I'll let you all know and I'll let Dave know so he can pass that on to our board and commission people. And finally, the Train the Trainer training continues for our community trainer. The good news is Dyer has a really good set of trainers. I did participate in training at the end of last year. Really well, really great discussion. Everybody was engaged. So I'm pleased with our new training materials and our trainers do a great job. So
If I could add to that, so what we did is each department's responsible for their own training. And then we do this wrap up at the end of the year for people that were on vacation, couldn't make it. And we invited Julie to participate. So we had all our trainers there plus Julie. And then we had a representation probably from each department sit in on this training that needed it. And it turned out to be great conversation, a great time. And I think we're going to keep that pattern going of individual departments and then have the wrap up big training at the end of the year. I think it worked great.
yeah, it did. We had really good attendance then at our summit from Dyer. So that was good to see as well. So once again, Dyer is a very ethical community and I'm very proud to represent you. What questions do you have?
Thank you for your time on this.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Town attorney.
You've gotten my update on the town code revision. As we all know, the legislature's in session. Some bills to keep an eye on are SB1, SB9, and HB 1402, which are all revenue bills, but have the potential to greatly impact town finances. Also, I had the pleasure of speaking at the Sherrville Council meeting yesterday, and they are interested in starting their own historic preservation commission and are looking to our town as a model for that. So you can congratulate yourselves on that. And I would just add, having a close view of how the town works and contrasting it with what's going on in Los Angeles. You guys run your town very well. You have an infrastructure that works. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll move to department heads. We'll start with Public Works.
We have a pre-construction meeting for the 88 concrete work that would be going from Main Street to US 30 and in the Rockwell subdivision. That is scheduled for January 29th. Sidewalk replacements and pavement markings for this year that are outside road projects are currently being developed by staff. The replacement direct road poles that will be installed from US 30 to Pheasant Hills Park have been ordered. Their expected arrival is April. The infrastructure division will be working with Nice Engineering next week on the sanitary and water line replacement list that we're currently developing to be done this year. And once they're done with that, they're going to present that to the utility board at their next meeting. We're also working on specifications for replacement vehicles that we're planning to replace this year. So again, that's being developed as well. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up, Parks.
So this is the slow season, but I'm gonna run down our projects. Sandy Ridge Park improvement, the status is the same. We have a walkthrough to complete, but unfortunately the weather has not really cooperated these last 2 weeks, so we gotta wait till it gets a little warmer out to do that. The Hearthstone pickleball courts, again, the status of this project is the same. The last item is the application of the sport court surfacing, and that cannot take place until we have an ambient temperature for 24 hours of above 55 degrees. So that will take place in the spring. I believe pickleball courts, we received Grimmer's construction schedule for this project. They're scheduled to begin on March 3rd, 2025, and the estimated completion date will be June 10th of 2025. Our Heritage Estates Park Improvement Project, this is all ready to go out to bid. We are bidding this in conjunction with the next item, our Cottonwood Park Improvement Project. It's in the equipment's been ordered for Cottonwood. It's in the design phase. We hope to have approval at the February Park Board meeting for the design and go out to bid in the month of February. And then our Central Park Infrastructure Project, we had a status meeting with Robinson last week, as the town manager mentioned in the study session. And there's various things discussed, including the lighting was a big thing, so we can get that ordered to get it here so we can get the project completed prior to Summerfest. And then just a couple other miscellaneous items, including the roundabout. Additionally, at Central Park, the park board is in discussion with a golf course design or disc golf course designer to install a 9-hole disc golf course at the very south end of Central Park. This would be near the berms and where the future trailhead of the Dyer Benji Trail is going to be. So we're having him design something and see what's going to look like at that end. For activities, winter events are progressing. We have our 2-evening daddy-daughter dance on February 7th and the 8th. Friday, February 7th, that is at the St. John Township Community Center from 6:30 to 8:30. And Saturday, February 8th is at St. Mary Goretti from 6 to 8. Volunteer committees, Dyer and Bloom, they do not have a meeting in January, so there was nothing to report on that end. But in Summerfest, staff has begun to develop task lists for a committee, and we're gonna be disseminating those lists to the committee so they can coordinate volunteer activities. They are scheduled to meet. They received email confirmation today on January 30th for the first meeting of 2025. And that's all I have to report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Looking forward to another good Summerfest from your department. Next up, we have operations.
Code officer had 257 calls for service in December. We got 2 new businesses. It's a husband and wife. One's running Alpha Prime Communication and one's Alpha Primal. It's a workout over in the Galleria. And then Subway over there got a new owner. Kirsch Foods took over that Subway. The Plan Commission meeting was going to be for next Wednesday, but off the press, that meeting will be canceled. We don't have any business except electing officers, so we're going to wait till next month to have that, so that won't be happening. Right now in review, the daycare that's going to go on Calumet Avenue is only needs storm board approval, and then it'll be coming to the Plan Commission for final site plan approval. You've probably all seen 7 Brew Coffee had placed their building. And they're finishing up now, and hopefully, I don't have a date, but I'm sure they're gonna want to do a grand opening, and I'll let y'all know when they're gonna have that. And we could all go up there for some coffee. The Dunkin' and Wingstop building, the foundation is in. And we're just waiting for some better weather, and they'll be back out there too to keep going. And Tsunami Car Wash, they say they're gonna be submitting full documents soon. It's a matter of just sending a check, and they'll be ready to get on the dockets to get some approvals. The storm board, we're working on projects for 2025. It's due by February, so by the end of next week, we're recertifying the CRS program. That's the community rating system that we're a part of, and it gives our residents a 10% discount on their flood insurance policies. So that's a nice program that we have. If you have any questions, let me know.
I have a question, Brian. You know, on that one area where Jet's Pizza was gonna be on there, did
Mhm.
they say that they have any other?
They don't have anyone yet. They haven't said.
Just curious. Okay.
As soon as I hear though, I'll
Yeah.
shoot it out. Hopefully more food, I would imagine. That's kind of what they're
Every
doing.
time I drive somewhere, I go, what don't we have? It could go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, police department.
In December of 2024, we had 627 incidents.
24 arrests, 12 accidents, 163 citations, 409 warnings, 462 traffic stops. Pleased to announce that Commander Henry and Sergeant Sickles will be graduating from Staff and Command tomorrow. So we'll be ending our class sessions at the police department and resuming the safety board meeting as of February. Because we are still scheduled to be here on Tuesday, January 21st, for the safety meeting for the police and fire department. We've had on January 4th, we took the physical and written test for entry level. We had 32 people take the test. Actually, 31 people take the test, 12 failed the physical, and 19 took the written, and only 16 passed the written test, and they will be taking oral assessment center in front of the safety board on January 23rd. And then after that, we will establish a list and have it presented for the February meeting for posting.
Thank you very much. Next up, fire.
Yes, month of December, we had 171 total calls for service, logged 2,405 hours of training, continued all of our community risk reduction initiatives. 21 fire code inspections throughout the town, and continued the implementation of live safety inspection vault and active alert for our inspection and pre-planning. We did host along with PD a Toys for Tots in December, filled 5 huge boxes, so they were appreciative of that. Received a $5,000 grant from NIPSCO for our community risk reduction program. Probationary firefighter Ryan Bishop graduated the Franciscan EMS Academy. He's going to be taking his national actually in 2 weeks. December 19th, probationary firefighters Chase Chmielewski, Alfonso Ibarra Jr., Aiden Cluth, and Josh Warren graduated from the Fire Academy and were cleared on their station reviews, so they're actually working shifts and responding to calls. They are currently enrolled in Fire Life Safety Educator along with firefighter EMT Ben Stutler. They actually finished that class up Saturday morning with their skills. And then after that, next week, they start the EMT Academy. So they've had a rough first year. February 15th, I sent out an email. We're hosting a Project Fire Buddies bowl with a firefighter at Stardust. So I'm sure hopefully they have some bumpers in the lanes for a few of our guys. That's 5 to 7 p.m. The information's on our social media if you haven't seen emails. So great charity that we work with, Project Fire Buddies. Unfortunately, we do have a fire buddy who is a second grader named Grace from Protzman. She has been in comas and going through leukemia treatments for the past 9 months. So the money doesn't just go to the charity, it also goes to a young Dyer resident who's going through a lot. And on a brighter note, it's always going to be Jules, Councilman. Always Jules.
Thank you very much. Next up, road projects. Neil.
Yeah, about that.
I think there's gonna be a motion here soon.
I believe it's the Jules.
The Jules.
I could be incorrect. Forgive me. Good evening. We have the 2023 CCMG project -2, which is Harrison. That's project's completed. We're waiting on the as-built to be completed by the contractor for final project closeout. The 2024-1 CCMG project that has been closed out with town, and we're preparing the documents to close out with NDOT with Dave and Frank and staff for compliance with our requirements. The 2024-2 CCMG project, which is the 212th place from Harrison to Madison, that is out to bid as of tomorrow morning. And then we will be having a bid opening on February 18th and awarding at your February 20th council meeting to be consistent with our 4 months with NDOT for the grant requirements. John Burge, we're gonna meet with Dave and Frank and Jeff next week to review that with Brian and the staff. And we have that ready for their review, and we'll probably get that out to bid mid-March, early March, sometime around there, so we can get that constructed yet this year in 2025. The last item is the 2025-1 CCMG. We have a proposal which I've worked with Frank and Dave and Jeff and Brian. It's 28 road segments. It's going to get us just over $3 million of construction costs. So we'll be able to get our maximum $1.5 million of eligible NDOT grants. And then when the bids come in on those, if we're under, we can still apply for additional funding
on the 2025-2 projects. Just to make sure we don't leave any money on the table with the increased $1.5 million from 1 million from the past years. So we have those options, those 20 road segments, and those have been reviewed by staff for utilities to prioritize those projects, and they're generally spread throughout the town. Frank, Dave, if you've got anything to add on to those, I think essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, we're just looking for a consensus that get to work, and we will. We have to be completed with the application by January 31st. We've begun the application and we're just essentially waiting on consensus direction. Any questions? So we will get to work. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And you as well.
Next up, we have ordinances and resolutions. I'll be looking for a motion to approve resolution 2025-01, authorizing 2024 encumbrances to be carried into budget year 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-01, authorizing 2024 encumbrances to be carried into budget year 2025.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary? Aye.
Jenna? Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Annette? Aye. Bob?
Aye. Next up, I'll be looking for a motion for resolution 2025-02, approving renewal of signage lease agreement with Centier Bank.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-02, approving renewal of signage lease agreement with Centier Bank.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, the back of the sign is not very attractive. How do we fix the back of the sign? Perhaps we could put a logo from the Monon corridor there, but the back of the sign needs repair.
Well, the town owns that structure, so you can do to it whatever you want. Just don't paint over Centier's billboard.
I understand that.
If I could add to that, Attorney Cedia, Centier Bank in their latest has leased both sides of it. It was their doing by not posting on the one side that they had actually leased out. So I can encourage them to put a logo on both sides, and if they defer the other side back to us, I'll bring it back to us for an idea, but
Yes.
I think we're within our means to encourage them that both sides should be occupied with something that's acceptable from the curb.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
is that good with you, Attorney?
I just want to point out the back of the south side of the billboard, it can't really have something else back there that's supporting the front. That's where it is. We'd have to construct the entire new face if we were gonna have them put something on the back side.
Could they maybe stretch a canvas over it or something? Like that?
It's essentially, it's like this.
Oh,
So the supports are coming into the back of it from this side. So we would have to, which if that's the direction you want us to go, we can, is we'd have to redesign the billboard.
well, that's beyond the scope of the resolution that's before you today. This is
Well,
just to continue the lease.
I'll let them know we'd like to see something on both sides, and we'll get a report back from them saying it needs to be
Something. Okay.
reconfigured if that's the ultimate goal.
We always want to look our best.
Roll call, please.
Mary? Aye.
Jenna? Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Annette? Aye. Bob?
Aye. Next up, I'll be looking for a resolution or a motion to approve resolution 2025-03, approving renewal contract with Intelleplex.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-03, approving renewal contract with Intelleplex.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
This agreement and the resolution just tracks the same one that this council passed in 22, renewing the agreement that's up for renewal now. I checked the statutes, nothing has changed. So essentially, you're just renewing it for another term.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mary? Aye. Jenna?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Annette? Aye. Bob?
Aye. Next up, I'll be looking for a motion on resolution 2025-04, approving renewal of non-health insurance policies with an increase not to exceed 8.2% as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Thank you, Tom Brown, for all of your hard
Yes,
work.
thank you.
It's exceptional. Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary? Aye. Jenna?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Next up, under old business, we have boards and commissions. Historic Preservation Commission. As we mentioned at the last meeting, at the request of the Historic Preservation Commission, they wanted to build their Historic Society first from their pool of volunteers. That meeting is coming up next week. So we will continue to circle for that one. Next up, Economic Development Commission. I would like to read into the record the presidential appointment of Mary Vaughn to be reappointed on February 1, 2025. And I believe we have begun the process to continue recommending Jeff Decker, who is in fact confirmed not by this body, but by the Lake County Council.
So with your motion last to keep the boards and commissions the same, we have asked the county council to take under consideration of reappointing Jeff Decker as their appointment. If that has changed, then take action here tonight. If not, that process is in place right now and should be addressed at the next county council meeting.
Need a motion to approve Mary Vaughn?
No, it's a presidential.
Okay.
With no new business, is there anything for any and all?
I just wanted to ask about the crosswalk. I know a couple months ago we mentioned that we were gonna look into that, looking at forward at South 30.
Sure.
Telling them that, yeah.
Jeff, I'll take this one if you want. So when we contacted NDOT for assistance and with saying the town of Dyer is looking to get people from north to south, south to north, they said that they would approve or endorse or review anything that we would put in place, but that there would not be any initiative on their behalf until we did some infrastructure that connected Calumet Avenue, Great Lakes on that side. So Jeff has looked into us putting in the infrastructure sidewalks that would get from Calumet to Great Lakes. And then at that point, we could notify NDOT that we're in the process of doing that, and we would look to partner with them to get some kind of pedestrian crosswalk in soon near Calumet, near Great Lakes, somewhere in there. So Jeff, you want a status of this?
Again, I priced out basically from the west entrance of Jewel, going down to US 30 and then going east towards Great Lake Drive, which there's a second that are completely not complete, but the rough cost would be right around $115,000 to do all that side of the road.
So we are,
It's moving.
I was gonna say, since that meeting, the wheels have been moving. What I would probably say is that you will have a proposal or at least a request in the February meeting with some funds identified that could be used for this project. If you guys so choose to move that forward, that part would be our responsibility on that side. And then I would say once, if it's favorable in February, I can reach back out to NDOT and say, our wheels are in motion where we have a contract for this. Can you please engage in us with some kind of research and design of what could look like a pedestrian crossways there? I think that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yep. Thanks, Jeff.
Speaking of pedestrian crossways over there, I watched the NERC meeting today about a potential pedestrian bridge over 30. I think it's valuable for us to vote on whether or not we continue with that. That's a very expensive project, possibly, and so I'd like to make sure we're speaking with a concise vote on that. So I think that's something that I may bring up in RDC, because I'm assuming that's the only avenue for funding we would have for that.
Actually, there was quite a bit of movement today at the NERC meeting, with quite a bit of interest, because it's not only our community, it's other communities down Route 30. But there were some connections made today that I think we can at least look into that. I would strongly encourage us to do so, and there are finances available for it. But it seemed like we've started something here in Dyer, but now other communities along Route 30 would like to do the same thing. So I would certainly support maintaining that interest.
Okay, we could talk about that at RDC. Any further, any and all? Accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Voice vote.
And don't go anywhere. We have one more meeting.
What you guys.
I'd like to call the January 16th, 2025 meeting, Dyer Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. Is there any citizen input? Sure.
Okay. Hi, once again, for the record, my name is Jorge David Valdez. I live at 13797 Empress Lane, Dyer, Indiana. Thank you. Talking about redevelopment, projects, improvements, everything like that. We hope, as you heard before, previously, President of Dyer Kickers as well. I don't know if I said that before. As we serve over 600 athletes at any given session, and families, we hope that through the works that are happening at the parks that we serve those families in, keep us in consideration with field space. Since the time that we've been asked to move from Northgate to Central Park, given the more land space, we were able to create more fields, service more people. Our club continued to grow and grow to the point where we have been asked to take our three youngest age divisions to Northgate, in which we did. And then we were able to configure the field space to meet our needs. Given the space and the layouts that we've been given from the Parks Commission, it did seem that it took a large amount of space away from us, and putting us on the south end of Central Park, which also floods. A large part of the south end floods due to the hill that's been put over the last year, which would reduce even more so the space for our fields. So given that, we hope that the town remembers Dyer Kickers and the need for our fields in order to service these, because taking away field space is kind of like cutting the legs from our club, because it limits the amount of kids that are able to play at any given time. So we do hope that the town remembers the service that we provide to the town and the community. Thank you.
Thank you. We also like to continue on with election of officers. By seeking a motion for the president of the Dyer Redevelopment Commission.
I make a motion to keep the same people that are in place.
Second.
Since we're doing it.
We have a motion and a second to keep the positions as presented. Any other discussion?
Now, is the logic in the last hour seems to have changed?
RDC originally is correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was originally a citizen committee.
Okay. And so do you not agree with the logic that you spoke of 45 minutes ago about rotating that position?
That was for elected.
Okay, so that was just when I was
in the town
president.
council.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
I'm good. We can roll.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Aye. Moving right along. I see a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the December 19th, 2024 redevelopment commission meeting and the claims totaling $520,484.54.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have old business, the facade improvement application for 1468 Joliet Street. And I think we've got some pictures.
Yeah.
That we need.
This is a follow-up of the grant application that was submitted. Since you last saw the grant, our Director of Operations, Brian Lane, has communicated with the Architecture Review Committee, gotten feedback. Brian, if you want to take over a little bit, give you a summary. I know there's a letter in the file along with.
Yeah, there's a letter in there. I did want to add this to it. You all have the pictures that I took, that's what's out there now, but I don't know if you got this, and this is what the front will look like when it's done.
Okay, thank
I
you.
just wanted you to see that. You can see, it's been out there and it kind of goes along with the visual. So I just wanted you to have that, but we haven't had it, besides my application, it's been a while. So it was nice to get this one, and we felt that this business would really, help the town by this look. So everyone on the committee really liked it and thought, that some money should be given to them. The only thing that we saw was that they did start to work, so it seems like they were gonna do this work, whether they got a grant or not, but we still think it's a great improvement and that we feel that we should give them some kind of grant.
We have a motion to approve the grant for the facade improvement application.
So in there was a range, so it would be up to the discretion of the RDC, how they feel the grant should be. The recommendation was anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, so. It would just be whatever it's from 1,000 to 25, our recommendation was between 5 and 10, so however comfortable you feel with that.
Do
Are
we
we
know
just
what it
talking about
costs
the
them?
sign?
Do we know what it costs them?
Yeah, it was 30-some thousand they gave estimates for. Now that was just the front. They didn't give any estimates to do all that
Okay.
work, so they did added work around the side.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that had to be more than the 30,000, so they probably have 50, and they're starting to do the inside, like just revamp
This is
it.
just facades.
Do we have a motion to approve the grant and an amount?
They said between 5 and 10,000, so we do 7,500.
Yeah, I think that's
Are
valid.
you making motions? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
I'll make a motion to.
I'll second
approve
that, yeah.
7,500.
That's a good idea. That's
Do I
very
have a
visible
second?
there. I'll second that.
Okay.
It's very visible.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have a TIF update.
This was put on there in case there's any questions from, since it is January. Most of the information came to you guys in December when a lot of the deadlines were there. You also have in your packet an additional item from clerk's office. I believe that will be in your packet every month, so if there's any TIF questions at this point.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have new business for MKSK Consultant.
So this is a placeholder on here. We are expecting a proposal that we thought would come in by Thursday. Today, it has not. This is for the Sheffield Ave corridor to basically take a relook at everything that's been said by the council as far as making it a new look, maybe even rebranding it the Monon corridor, Sheffield Avenue.
Yeah.
We have met
Great
with
opportunity.
MKSK on the phone. We've met with them in the past. They've done Main Street. They've done a lot of stuff in the area, so they're definitely qualified. But the proposal did not arrive by the meeting tonight, so we'll hopefully have it to you in the near future. But it'll include up to curb redone, center turn lanes turned into landscaping islands every once in a while. If you notice, Sheffield Avenue has a center turn lane down the whole entire way. It's not necessarily needed each and every section, so there is some suggestions to do landscaping in the middle to kind of break it up, to give it a new look. To kind of make it look like it's a revitalized, and I think that's the focus that we all said that Sheffield Avenue needed, and started with our 213th edition, so kind of looking forward to what MKSK may have to present for you.
Are they aware of the Monon corridor theme?
I believe everybody,
Okay.
that works there, they're very familiar with the town to the north of us. They're very familiar with Main Street.
Okay,
And
Yeah, 'cause
they had the
Munster's been-
original project.
yeah, they spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah,
And I think,
exactly.
to touch base on that, Mona, and I think, to kind of summarize that is I hope Nickey itself is doing a lot to capture
They
that
are.
Mona. Because they should be responsible for putting those signs farther down in town and with arrows and the logos and all that too. And then we can obviously capitalize on that, but Nickey's got a decent budget for that and they should be definitely not relying on the towns for.
Right, they have a whole education program for it, so it's good that, we're all finding out about
And
it.
as Dave had mentioned, they were the group that did the TOD, the design work, that was published regarding the train station and all the different spaces. And that's how we got to work with them on that. So it kind of makes logical sense to continue that design concepts, ideas and understanding to the south onto Sheffield Avenue corridor. So.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the proposal for the compass rose. We've all seen pictures of it. Do we have a motion to approve moving forward and for approval of the compass rose?
I'll make a motion to approve the colorful one. I like that one, but I don't think we need to expand those letters to add that additional $5,000. I don't think we need to do that. And like President or Councilman Starkey, you're in a different group now. Anyway, like he said, I don't think we need to have all those particular locations. Some of them, you know what I mean? But I like the design. I like that it's art and it's down and it's colorful, but I don't think we need to expand on that, but I make a motion to accept, I forget what the amount was. It was like,
33.
yeah, he gave us a discount. He said 40,000, then he said 30, what did you say?
It was 33,000,
Right.
yeah, $33,222.
Not to exceed that.
66 cents.
Okay, and we did discuss those locations.
Right.
Specifically.
Right.
Yeah, and those can be obviously varied.
Well, if,
Right.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was just more for presentation example purposes.
Oh, I like how it looks. It just, we might want to.
Oh,
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Do we have a second?
We have a second? I'm sorry. We have a second for the compass rose? Hearing none.
Satisfied with that.
There's no action on it.
I would make a motion to do the first compass. That was the one that we first looked at, and that was the book I thought that we were going for. I like the concept, but I don't really think that we should.
For 33
compared
compared to, how much
with
was,
all the colors.
how much was the first one? 5,000, 3,000?
4,000.
Yeah, roughly $4,200.
I just say, let's just stick with the basic one that we've initially went with,
Well, I
at least
think-
thought we were going with.
Well, I think when we're doing anything that is aesthetic, I'm gonna mess up this word. Appealing to the town, that makes it look more beautiful. I don't like to have everything going over to the Calumet corridor. No offense. We want it to go all the way around town so that the entire town can participate in things that beautify. So yes, we extended that down there, but some of those things go away. This would be something that would just hold in place and be beautiful.
I still think the
Not
first.
not
one
to
is
cut you
beautiful.
off, we should have a second before we have discussion.
Oh, sorry.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think it's beautiful. the first-
Yeah, it's.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Now, is this on the first or the second one?
This is on the 4,000.
On the 4,000 now.
Nay,
So wait a minute, what are we voting on, the first or the second?
but that's what I didn't understand.
Voting
We're
on
the
second one.
$4,000.
The 4,000?
Picture we saw.
The first picture.
I'm okay with the 4,000.
Aye.
Aye.
No. Any and all? You have a motion for
I,
adjournment?
for any and all, I would like to go back to the pedestrian bridge. I think it's important. We don't know what the financing looks like today. Aside from if the first conversations that we had when we brought NERC in was, sounds good, you pay for it. And that's a multi-million dollar venture. So I think it's best if we're going to continue down this way, that we should vote in favor or against, so we're all on the same page with it.
But did NERC really come in?
We had Mitch
I don't
Barloga in
recall
here
that.
last year and we talked about.
They came
different-
here to talk to us?
Correct. Correct, and we had various conversations about different ways we could get people across Route 30. Everything from a pedestrian bridge that we talked about around Kaler to a road and traffic calming at 30 in Calumet. I believe we even touched on the potential crossing at Great Lakes Drive.
I
And
was
so
given information today that NDOT is really looking more positively toward these pedestrian crossings because they're much safer. And on top of that, it would be linked to the bike path all the way from the Marquette Parkway.
okay, I
That
just
was
want,
enticing.
I want to make sure that when we're out there advocating for this, we're not advocating it backed by dire taxpayer dollars at this point.
Correct?
Okay,
Well, I do know that it's in our comprehensive plan and we do need to address it as such. Otherwise, we should just take it out. And anytime Adam says anything, he should not say this is not injurious to the comprehensive plan, if the comprehensive plan doesn't matter. I mean, don't have it.
well, the comprehensive plan is
It's an outline.
is a
I get
guide,
it. I do
right? We
get it,
don't
but-
do everything with it, because if we did, we certainly wouldn't be entertaining $1 million for a historic society building. So.
Well, no one
let's-
said it was gonna cost $1 million. You're saying that, Bob. Nobody else said that.
Okay,
So I'm just saying, I mean, we spent $200,000 to take down a house on Hart Street that just took down the house on Hart Street. Because we're not moving the town council building over there, which is, whatever, but now it's a green space. I'm just saying we do things randomly and this seems more intentional because it's part of the comprehensive plan. Nobody said Dyer had to put their tax dollars in it right yet. We were just seeking out how we could fund this another way. They were even talking about having, the last conversation I had with someone was, perhaps there could be, you know how things are, labeled? I mean, I can't call it the Willis Tower. It's always gonna be the Sears Tower, but you know what I mean, that they're labeled so people pay for those things. It's not something we can't do. I mean, even when we look at this amphitheater, I looked at all of them in the area and they're all dedicated to someone. I think we don't want to close our options off. We can't say just crossing kids on the street. I think we can leave our options open. Nobody said that Dyer's committing their tax dollars to them. And nobody said that that property was $1 million.
Well,
Well, you
certainly would
did.
make it more walkable. And I think, for the kids' safety across Route 30, many of them they just run across Route 30 and this would be a safety mechanism for them as well. But I think the connection with the Market
Yes.
Parkway plan would definitely be an asset to us because we can actually get the bike riders across there
Yes.
and over into Illinois
Yes.
a lot easier.
okay.
Well, when you go on Zillow or anything, they always have, what is this town walkable? What's the percentage? What is the ratio for walkability or bikeability? Newsflash, we don't rank there yet. But we want to, and we want to make it more like that. So I think that we should keep that option open. So I
Yes.
would like the council to consider that, just keeping that option open, not committing tax dollars. I appreciate that, Dave. I mean, Bob, that you want to make sure that we're not just committing something. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And there have been people coming forth and saying, we'd like to discuss the options for financing it, so.
I'm just in general, I don't like that part of the comprehensive plan, that bridge. I've seen one design where the bridge, I mean, in order to get as high as that bridge needs to go over Route 30 to allow for all the trucks and it's it's a US, it's a state route, interstate route. It just would be way too tall and, an eyesore, in my opinion.
Well, they don't have to be. There's some really beautiful bridges. I've seen a lot of different designs, but we haven't even gotten that far. But I think closing the door on that is wrong because we can use it for so many things. And it will enhance our town. It's not something that will be horrible. I mean, Lincoln Highways isn't getting easier.
Every bridge I have seen and wherever I have driven, it is deteriorated. It's a lot of maintenance. It's just something that I don't think is an asset to Dyer. So whether it's taxpayer dollars or somebody's trying to come in and buy land and make that happen, I'm not in favor of. So I'll just be clear with that.
Well, that's okay, because I'm landing on safety and I
Yeah.
can appreciate you not landing on that, but that's where I'm.
That was ignorant.
No, it
Okay,
isn't.
yes, it was.
No, it
The
isn't.
safety comment, come on, we're doing this for the children. I
No,
mean,
it isn't.
that really
It's
was.
for the safety for
I
the bike
would
riders that
like
are
to make
coming
a
down.
motion that the town council and all of our town staff subordinates cease bridge conversations, pedestrian overpass conversations with NERC. I would like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
You know what, and I'm gonna go as far as in Hammond, they have a bridge that's going across.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I've witnessed, because I used to take that route to go to the Skyway. The bridge was supposed for people to cross over. The kids weren't even using that. The kids were crossing the street.
Yeah.
And if
That's
you look.
So it's
Frank,
like all that money they put into it, the kids weren't using it, using it. I've never seen anybody on top. It's beautiful, the lights, they didn't, but. As far as for safety, the kids are gonna do what they wanna do. They're not gonna go up there. Or what I'm afraid of is that the kids are gonna go up there and do some type of. Throw bricks down or rocks down or, but. At this point, I don't think I'm really for it, the bridge.
We have a motion and a second. And we have roll call, please.
Nay.
To vote on,
Discontinue.
I vote on discontinue.
Aye.
Aye.
No. Any further business?
Can I ask a direction on LC Economic Alliance, if you guys would like any, engage further? Distribute the packet when he sends it, or would you guys like to sign up for the Steel membership for 2025 and
The steel, what did he say the quote?
$1,000 for the year?
So is he gonna be coming back for the Economic Development Commission meeting? January 27th?
He will not, I mean, unless we ask him to, he will not.
Is that something that we should?
You talking about the EDC meeting?
Yeah.
Absolutely, probably not in his realm. EDC is more for the local Dyer project, so this was the meeting that he came to is the one that he should be at.
Okay.
So it's really RDC's backyard, if you want to partner with LCEA.
You have a motion to approve entering into a contract for $1,000 at the steel level.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Aye.
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 Thank you. I think it's a good safe one, at least see if we,
I think it's
for
good.
25.
Yeah, especially the hospitals.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
The
you.
networking
Motion.
aspect of it, I think it's important, and if we can do it at $1,000, let's do it at $1,000.
Do we have a motion for adjournment?
No, one last thing,
Yes.
I keep hearing rumors that there is a butterfly statue out there that at some point RDC will have to fund. Is that coming from the Parks Department?
Dyer and Bloom.
Okay, if so, can we get them in front of us in February? I don't like the idea that we have these subordinate committees going around making designs and plans with money that is far from theirs. So if you could direct the Dyer and Bloom group, if that's something they wish to pursue with our money, they should probably come before us and present their case. Thank you. That's all I have.
Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Voice vote, please.
Aye.
Thank you.